Welcome to day 6 of Vlogintines. Today I want to talk about a kind of a touchy subject, and that is, have you ever had that inkling for a story and thought to yourself, man, I should write that. I should write that story, or I should write that book. And then you say something to somebody about it. Maybe it's your mom or your dad or your sibling. Perhaps it's your best friend. And you say, you know what? I've got this really cool idea and I'd like to write a book. And you get crickets or worse. That's what we're going to talk about today, you guys, on Writer Group. Well, you guys, and it doesn't really matter where you are in the writing life. You can be just beginning, having ideas about a book or an idea about a story that you'd like to write, or it could be your 5th book and it's just a fabulous novel idea and you just share it with somebody, because that's kind of what we do as writers. We like to share stuff. And you get no response at all, or you get negative response. Somebody says, yeah, that last thing you wrote, I wasn't very interested in it. I couldn't get into it. I didn't finish it, or whatever it might be. And it sends you into kind of a tailspin. How do you manage to get out of that mindset and do it anyway? Well, I have a few ideas. So I went and got my trusty notebook. I live for writing in notebooks, and a pen. And this is the number one way to get out of that no-go mindset to go-go mindset. Write it down. Just write down your idea. Write down from the bare basics. If you don't really know where to start, just start writing about the idea. Write the idea itself down. For example, perhaps you have an idea about a king in a country torn asunder by war. Write it down. A king in a country torn asunder by war. And I promise you, by the time you get to the end of that sentence, the other ideas will come. They'll start flowing, and then you can write those down. And before you know it, you'll find yourself plotting. You'll find yourself outlining this idea. And that is the best way to start. The next thing that I want to recommend for you to do to turn your story idea into something that you actually start writing is give it a few days. Write that idea down, as I just said. Write it down and write as much as you want to write, as much as you feel like writing. Don't push anything, and give it a few days. Set that aside. Let it gel. Let it rest. Let it build on itself. And then you may find book and reread what you wrote. You may find that it is not a very good idea. And that's okay. I think most times it is a good idea. You just need to expound on it a little bit. The main reason you need to do this is because oftentimes we'll have a germ of an idea and we'll go and we'll share it with someone, no matter who it is. Maybe it's even our spouse. And it's not fully developed yet. It's just the germ of an idea. And because you don't have a fully formed beginning, middle, end, conflict, characterization setting, anything yet, even in your own mind, you can't elucidate that. You can't give anybody enough information about that idea to make it worth their interest. And that is oftentimes why you get no answers or negative answers. And my final word on this is, don't stop. Keep going. Write something every day about your story. Maybe you have a really great character in mind. Write everything you can think about that character. Perhaps you have a tremendous setting in mind. Maybe it's a fantasy story and you've already begun to world build in your head. Put it all down on paper or on your screen. I know everybody doesn't do pen and paper the way I do, and that's fine. But anyway, do write it down. Write it down, let it sit, and keep going. That's the creation phase. And we all have to go through that. And as just a slight recommendation from me to you, don't tell anybody about your ideas too soon. Wait until you understand what you're trying to do fully, and then you can share it with somebody else. You might find that you get a lot better feedback that way. Until tomorrow, you guys, that's all I have for you today. I hope you're having a lovely weekend, and I will see you in the next video.